Hello guys, how are you doing? This is AJ and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be sharing with you guys brutal, honest truth, financial advice that you want to hear. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So the first one is that you are not broke. It's just your spending habits. Guys, if you're earning about 3k and above and you're telling yourself that you are broke, man, this is just all on you. It's your spending habits. If you just take your time to plan on how you're going to spend that money, to craft a really an amazing budget that is going to balance everything when it comes to expenses, wants, and even paying your debts, then guys, you're not going to be broke because you'll still have money left that you can take back into your savings. You can push that money into your emergency fund and actually make things easier. So if you're telling yourself you're broke while you're earning a really steady income, it doesn't matter how much, but if you're having a steady paycheck from month to month and you're broke, then you have to check on your spending habits. This means you're screwing things up when it comes to how you're spending your money. Once you fix this, you'll be able to understand and see how you actually can make better with the money that you have right now. You actually don't need to have so much money for you to live the life that you really want. It's all about control and prioritizing the right things. Another advice I can share with you when it comes to money, guys, you have to avoid a fancy lifestyle if you know that you have lots of debts to pay. Guys, if you have debts, you should always prioritize paying these debts out, because if you leave these debts, they keep on accumulating because of the interest, and these debts are going to be bigger. When these debts get bigger, then you're going to realize that you actually spend so much time paying your debts other than growing yourself as individual. You spend so much money, you spend so much money paying your debts. You don't think of growth simply because you have to pay out these debts. So guys, if you adore a fancy lifestyle, I'm not saying that's wrong, but you have to pay your debts first. Pay your debts first and then live the lavish lifestyle that you want. Because guys, we are working so hard so that we can earn this money, so that we can live the life that we truly desire. So I'm not telling you that you should avoid fancy life completely, but first you should prioritize paying your debts. Once you have cleared those debts, starting with the highest interest debts, till if you have several ones of them, deal with the highest interest, and then finish on with the lowest one if you have ton of debts. After that, that is when you can actually sit down and choose the lifestyle that you truly want to live. But if you have lots of debts, avoid a fancy lifestyle. Avoid taking yourself to experiences that you can't afford. Avoid pretending to be rich, man, because this is something that is going to destroy you. This is something that is going to drag you behind when it comes to hitting your financial goals. So guys, if you have so many debts, you should prioritize paying these debts before you choose a lifestyle that you can lead, because these debts are your enemy. They are going to prevent you from hitting your goals. These debts are going to slow down your progress when it comes to your early retirement, when it comes to something that you really want to invest in, when it comes to even building your wealth at large. I came across several of my friends talking about that it's really hard for them to budget, simply because they don't have a really unique style of budgeting. Guys, budgeting doesn't need to be fancy. You actually don't need expensive apps for you to start budgeting. You don't really need a whole Notion template for you to budget, guys. Budget is all about discipline. You can just open up your Google Docs, or you can open up your Excel and just write down your expenses, the needs, wants, when it comes to saving, debt repayments, and just do like that, and you're all done with that. But if you're telling yourself that you really need an app that you have to pay for, you really need a fancy Notion template for you to budget for your expenses and everything else, man, you're lying to yourself. This is something you need to hear from me. Your budgeting doesn't need to look fancy. The structure, how you've written everything, it doesn't need to look that fancy at all. it just has to be on point. So if your budgeting is not on point, then that's where the mess comes in. But if your budgeting is clearly illustrated and you can easily check where you need to push your money to, and where you need to reduce your spending, then that's a really concrete budget. A budget should be able to take control of your spending. So if your budget can do that, then you are all set. But if you tell yourself that you need a really amazing template that you have to spend money for, you really need a really good app for you to start budgeting, guys, you're lying to yourself. This is something that is ruining you. This is something that is destroying your financial progress. So budget only needs discipline. If you're disciplined enough, you can have only a single piece of paper. You can write down all your expenses, needs and wants, and after that, things are just going to be easier because you'll have to follow that. But if you're not disciplined enough to follow what you have written, no matter the method you have used to craft down your budget, guys, it's really going to be tough if you're not going to follow it. It's not going to be helpful if it's not going to take control of your spending habits. So budgeting needs discipline. It doesn't need a really fancy way of crafting it down. It's just discipline. Follow it to the latter, and that is what is going to help you when it comes to hitting your goals, when it comes to taking control of your spending habits. Another brutal financial advice I can share with you guys is that you're wasting so much time scrolling and not earning. Guys, just think about it for a moment. How much time do you waste in a day scrolling through the social media posts? I bet some of us can even go to 2 or 3 hours just scrolling. Guys, that time you could have used it, to work on something else. You could have used that time to work on your side income. You could have used that time to build passive income stream that is going to keep on generating your income. So if you're wasting your time scrolling through the social media, admiring everything else that you see out there, and you're not using that time to work on yourself, to work on your side income streams, to work on your passive income stream, guys, this is something that is wasting you. And you're going to realize that in a month you've wasted almost over 100 hours, and I guess to some of us it's more than 100 hours just scrolling through these social medias. So you have to use your time wisely. I'm not telling you that you should stop using social media, because social media right now, it's the real deal, because everything else that we want to learn, everything else that we want to see when it comes to trends or money and maybe learning, it's all on social media nowadays. So you just have to take control of how you spend your time using them. If you're going to minimize the time you spend there and you're going to use most of your time creating instead of consuming, guys, you're going to be a step ahead. So be in that mindset whereby you are a creator, not a consumer. If you're someone who is a creator, then you are likely going to spend less time scrolling through the social media because you'll be busy creating something. So be a creator, not a consumer, and use your time wisely because you cannot recover the time you lost. Use this time to work on your weaknesses. Use this time to build your wealth. Use this time to invest in yourself. But don't waste your time scrolling, guys, because this is something that is wasting you in the long run, dragging you behind to a point that you're not even seeing the results that you want to see. It's because you're wasting everything, guys. Another brutal, honest advice for you guys is that you actually don't need the latest gadgets, guys. You don't need to upgrade your phone every year. You don't need to upgrade your laptop every year, guys. You really don't need. What's the point of that? As long as your old gadget is working fine, there's no need for you to upgrade, because doing so, you're actually going to find yourself spending more money than you're supposed to. That money that you're spending, it has to go to your investment. That money has to go to your savings. That money has to go to your emergency funds, sinking funds, repaying your debts. You're not supposed to be upgrading your phone, your gadgets every single year, because this is something that is eating you, guys. Because trust me, each and every year there's something new that is going to come up. And if you're going to be that person who is always upgrading to the fanciest gadgets that are out there, then this means it's going to be really hard for you to take control of your spending. It's really going to be hard for you to make a really huge difference when it comes to hitting your financial goals. So you need to save more money, you need to take control of your spending, you need to have an emergency fund, you need to repay your debts. You have lots of expenses to take care of. So instead of you spending that money upgrading your gadget every single year, yet you have a functional device that you have, man, that is really a waste of money. And that is something that the billionaires are not even doing that. So if you're doing that, then this means this is going to keep you broke, guys. It's going to keep you broke, and you are going to be that person who's always depending on paycheck to paycheck, because most of your money that you earn doesn't accelerate your growth, rather than it just slows you down because you keep on buying things out there. And if you're that kind of person who's always buying instead of saving, instead of investing, then it's going to be tough for you to hit your goals when it comes to money, when it comes to building your wealth, when it comes to even investing in yourself as an individual. Another honest, brutal financial advice for you guys is that your job can't make you rich. Guys, if you're spending more time, thinking that your job is one day going to make you rich, guys, I'm sorry to tell you that that is a lie. But your investments might, because trust me, guys, if someone is just employing you, that person who is employing you is actually making more money out of your energy, out of your services, out of your grit. That man is making progress just because of you, and you are there just stuck depending on paycheck to paycheck. But if you're someone who is going to invest in that money that you get from your employment, then the chances of you getting richer are actually going to increase, because investing, this means your money keeps on growing. But if you're someone who is just thinking that your employment is going to make you rich, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but that is really a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. You have to think outside the box. You have to spend your extra time working on your side income streams. So guys, as I was saying, you have to spend your extra time working on your side income stream. You have to think of ways you can invest, in your money, the money that you get from your employee. Think of how you can double that money, and that's how you might get rich. But if you think that depending on paycheck to paycheck is going to make a difference when it comes to hitting your financial goals, sorry to tell you, but you are really lying to yourself. So you need to style up. You need to think of ways you can invest in that money. You have to think of ways you can add other sources of income, and this is going to make a difference when it comes to growing your wealth, when it comes to you hitting your financial goals. Another thing you should know when it comes to money, guys, if you can't save $100, you can't save 1,000. This is just a matter of discipline, guys. If you can't save $5, don't expect that you can save $100. So when it comes to saving, guys, it's all about discipline. So if you're not disciplined enough, it's going to be really tough for you to save a significant amount of money. Discipline connects with consistency. So if you're disciplined enough, you're going to keep on pushing money into your saving account every month. It doesn't matter what happens, you're always going to keep on pushing money, and that money in your saving account, you won't dare to put a finger on it, because there's a specific goal that you set aside. There's a specific goal that you're working on, and you want to use that money to invest in something, or buy something, or take yourself to that trip that you wanted to. So if you are not disciplined enough, it's going to be really tough for you to save a significant amount of money. You're going to save about a half of it, then start using it. Then you're going to go back again and start using those funds that you have been saving. So guys, it's really tricky if you're not disciplined. So right now, if you can't save even $100, don't tell yourself that you can save more than that. You need to work on your discipline. And the moment you do that, the moment you fix that, then you are likely going to succeed when it comes to saving, and hitting your financial goals. You might tell yourself that, man, I'm bad with money, simply because whenever I craft my budget, it doesn't work for me. Whenever I save money, I keep on using it. I don't have an emergency fund. I don't think of investing. Guys, you're actually not bad with money. You are the problem. You are the problem, and it's your choice, because you are not learning. Because financial skills, financial literacy, all this is going to come to that person who is putting an effort into learning about it. You won't know anything about debts, about interest, about compound interest, about anything when it comes to money, unless you put your energy and effort into learning. So if you're not spending your time learning, if you're not investing in yourself when it comes to financial literacy, then you are always going to be at that point. You're not going to make any progress when it comes to hitting your goals. This is something you have to take into consideration. You know, if you are serious enough, you can just take 3 or 6 months and fix everything when it comes to your finance. You can do it. If you're serious enough, you can turn your finances around in just 6 months. It's not a matter of you being too smart. It's not a matter of you earning so much money. It's all about the mindset. You know, if you're someone who wants to keep on learning, growing, then it's possible for you to turn things around. But if you keep telling yourself that you're bad with money, and you're actually not making any effort to change that by learning and investing in yourself, then I'm sorry to tell you that you're always going to be stuck. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm AJ. Like the video if this is the kind of content that you enjoy. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.